Martial arts, part 2. There's a dark side to martial arts. Idols fall from grace due to certain things. Martial arts tend to scare normal people who don't deal with martial arts or have no clue what martial arts is away from you. It all started with Seagal and Van Damme. Two men that I had respect for until the rumors, the allegations, and then the videos of their wives being on 2020 and police records and all these things are probably free knowledge now. But as an honorary cop, Seagal had no business beating his wife Kelly LeBrock. As a martial art in general and a martial arts champion, Van Damme had no business beating any of his wives. But the rumors had it that he did it. They did a documentary on it. So there's got to be some truth there somewhere, right? I don't really know. But hearing about it, I lost a lot of respect for them. If not all respect for them. Now let me explain why. See, on 2020, Kelly LeBrock did an interview about how Steven Seagal whooped her ass not too long after they made the movie Hard to Kill. I think it was Hard to Kill. Whichever one, they were in it together, and they show Geraldo getting his nose broken. I think that was the movie. But anyway, she did an interview about how Steven Seagal, her husband, the martial artist, the badass with the ponytail, which is why I cut my ponytail off, by the way, the first time around. I really love my ponytail. But I didn't like being called Steven Seagal. I also had some alcoholic bums following me home thinking that I was a bearded lady. Anyway, so now I'm just going to Roman Reigns the shit out of this crap. But anyway, so that ruined it for me and girls. I would approach girls. Oh, you cute. How you doing? I'm doing well. So, what's your name? I give them my name. So, what do you like to do? Here's where being honest kind of deserves the tip of your boot. You know, most people try to lie to chicks to try to impress them and shit. And I've never done that because I've never been a cool person and I've sucked at lying like forever. So, I tell them the truth. Well, I'm James, 5'3", about $125, soaking wet. You know, I do kung fu in my spare time. I do martial arts. I work like 6 or 7 weapons. I train every day. I work a decent job. And then sometimes I go to school. You know, I'm studying performing arts. Well, all they heard was, I'm James Williams Sr., I do martial arts. Oh, you do martial arts? Yeah, I can't date guys like you because people like Steven Seagal and Van Damme beat their wives. I said, but I'm not Steven Seagal. I'm never going to put my hands on you unless it's consensual. No, that's okay. You're cute and all, but I'm going to walk away from you now. And I'm steadily like, but I wasn't done telling you what I'm about. By the time the words martial arts hits out of my mouth, every girl from that era of them beating their wives wanted nothing to do with me. And I would approach chicks, you know, because I had the confidence. You know, I'm an ugly motherfucker, but I had the confidence to go and approach these hot-ass chicks. Most of them were white girls, and some of them were Asian girls, because most of the black girls didn't want nothing to do with me, and they haven't wanted anything to do with me for a very long time. This is about like 12, 14, plus those incidences with the black girls that almost got me killed. So I kind of strayed away from them, and people still judge me on that, and they want to call me a reverse racist if they want. Hey, I'm mixed. I can date whoever the fuck I want to date. So deal with that shit. But anyway, so after those incidences, the dark side of martial arts is that there are martial artists out here who forget that they're martial artists and they want to do things. Then all of a sudden there was the shoot fighting boom and the UFC and the MMA boom, and because I'm so small, I couldn't get a job with them, any of them. Now they have tough man contests that come through Virginia every now and again. The problem is, I'm not a fucking boxer. No feet were allowed. Since I'm better with my feet than I am with my hands, I can't participate in them because it's a tough man contest that does not allow you to fight freely. Understand where I'm going with that? How can you be a tough man contest, but I can't fight you the way I know how to fight? But yet, it's a tough man contest. Oh, there's also a weight class, and if you're not over 130 pounds, you can't get in. You see where I'm going with the dark side of this shit? So, you know, there's a light and a dark side to everything. There's no point of having a skill that you can't use if you can't actually use it for what it's meant for. Okay, that's a contradiction. Martial arts began so that people like me could beat up on people like the Incredible Hulk, alright? Or anybody 6 foot plus. Now, I did a video not too long ago about Michael Jai White saying he could beat Bruce Lee, and other people did videos, and we've all chimed in on it. I'm not going to touch that in this video, but I'm going to dabble in it just a tiny bit with what I'm about to say. I wasn't mad that Michael Jai White said he could beat Bruce Lee. I was mad that he said this size matters. Done touching on that. Because everyone I've ever fought in my life has been bigger than me. Like I said, I'm 5'3 and a half. That's it. But 5'3 and a half, 120 pounds of problem, and discrimination doesn't mean shit. There have been martial art tournaments here. I have not been able to enter them because I don't legally have a black belt. And a lot of them aren't even light to full contact competitions. A lot of them are just showing off weapon skills and stuff like that, and stuff that really, when you ask an Asian person the difference between an Asian martial arts and American martial arts, the difference is so fucking cut and dry. Unless you're an MMA fighter who was blessed enough to be trained by an Asian person, or blessed enough to go into the Gracie School of Martial Arts, where they teach you Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, which in my personal opinion, nothing against the Gracies, but Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu fucking sucks. I was learning that in combatives in Delta, couldn't stand it. I learned a different martial art when I was in Bravo, so I'm pretty much well-rounded for being an infantryman of knowing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and I'm never going to use that shit in the shit where we stand up that I was learning in Bravo. I would much rather use that shit. And that's where it ends right there. But when it comes to the dark side of martial arts, most of the things are shrouded in weight classes and ethnicities. Now, if you notice, there are very, very rarely super tall Asians. In fact, most Asians barely hit the cusp of 6 feet. And every now and again, you get a Yao Ming or that dude from Rush Hour 3. You know, and then like in India, you get your Elegantes or the Great Khali. You get those in almost every ethnicity. You get one genetic freak, and I'm sorry for calling y'all genetic freaks, but that's technically what you would call, because you're above average for your countrymen, when most of your countrymen don't hit the 6 foot mark. Now, because most Asians from Japan to China to Southeast Asian to Northern Asia barely make it to 6 feet tall. Now, as time has gone on and as people has evolved, every now and again, you get the freaks of nature who reach 6'6" or better. I'm not saying it's impossible, but for the most part, a lot of the armies in the past with Asia were fairly short. They were taller than Napoleon, so they were in the 5'7", 6 foot range. But you never really got them over 6'3", ever. Now that varies because Samoans have been pretty fucking big. Alright? But like I said, it varies from time to time, because Native Americans, because of the terrain, some of them around here have made it to 6'6" and some more. Most of them, you rarely find any Native American men under 5'5", 5'6". Since I'm only half Native American, that doesn't really count for me, because I'm the size of the average Vietnamese woman, just with no breasts. Moving on. Now, as a smaller man, and being smaller in stature and damn near every part of my body, I have really small muscles. I'm cut, but I ain't cut like I used to be in my 20s and 30s and shit. I'm in fair shape, but I'm not in army shape. Now, when I went to the army, I was in what I thought was fair shape, or at me bragging at 37, I thought I was in good shape. I was wrong. I was way wrong. When you're in army shape, you're in the best shape you'll ever be in. Period. So when they say soldier of one with the fucking push-ups and the drills, but they are literally making you a soldier of one with no bullshit. When you got 300 pounds on your back, you will adapt. Now, coming out of the army, I lost weight with some depression. I gained weight. My weight has fluctuated, and then with my hip replacement, they told me don't go over 130 pounds, which goes back to I won't be able to get into the UFC because of this big ass hip replacement. Plus, I need another one. I won't be able to get into MMA. No doctor on earth is going to clear me for anything. If I'm blessed for anyone to pick me up in any movies, they'll need a doctor on set to make sure that I don't fuck myself up, or that no one else on set fucks me up by accident. Because accidents happen in movies. I'm used to them. I've been hit quite a few times. J-Diz, you know what I'm talking about. And that was 2 thumbs up, not thumbs down. CLS, yeah, everyone that I've mentioned has probably knocked me around at least once or twice, accidentally, of course, but shit happens. I used to spar with these guys. Hell, I've trained these guys. I've done things. I've taught lots of people. Mr. Monroe, Courtney, Charles, Lewis, everybody in my first movie whose name I can't pronounce, Philip, Adrian Cow, you know, guys that probably moved on and had mad success and could care two shits if I'm breathing, but I still love y'all. Mad love. Hope you guys are doing successful at whatever the hell you're doing. Now, my first movie I did put up here somewhere. At least I think I did. I won't swear to it. I'd like to find it and redo it. But, you know, I got screwed there because I couldn't find the 14 people that I needed. I got maybe half of that, and then I couldn't have a dramatic scene with the big bad white guy at the end because he didn't know martial arts and he just couldn't put in the time. So, you know, I put everything I've done up here for the most part. Haven't gotten a lot of hits, but it's okay. I'm not going to cry about it because that's not going to change it. If tears come down my face right now, that's not going to give me 4 million viewers. Alright? Straight up and down. It's not going to give me that. But here's the dark side of martial arts. The dark side of martial arts is that, you know, if you don't look bankable. I don't look bankable for one reason and one reason only. All the mixed roles go slam to Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Secondly, they don't really write. A lot of writers are all white. They have no idea how it feels to be multicultural, so they can't write stories about guys like me. So they can write a story and alter it and let The Rock have it, and that's fine. I'm happy that there's at least one guy that's mixed doing so well. Or if they don't give it to Rock, they give it to Will Smith. Alright? And if they don't give it to Will Smith, they give it to Ice Cube. And if we're lucky or blessed, they may give it to Tyrese. But they don't give it to people who are newer to the business. They don't give it to people like me. I'd be lucky if I get a cameo, which would be great. I would be happy with that. Don't even have to pay me. Just fly me there, let me introduce everybody, and then I can network from there. And that way, if I do really well in this cameo, even if I don't get a line, I might get a strange look or something, and that's cool. You know, whatever it takes to launch my career, I'm down for doing. Except sex. Unless they're very pretty women. You know. Oh yeah, I left off Terry Crews. So, you know, they give the roles to people who look bankable. Most of us mixed guys, psh, we don't need that guy. We'll just, again, we'll give that one to The Rock. Don't worry, I'm not starting a personal Twitter war with Rock because I seen him slap the shit out of Tyrese, and that was awesome. Now, I'm not going to be dumb enough to stand there and let somebody slap me, but, you know, if I see it coming, I'm damn sure going to get the fuck out the way. But anyway, they tend not to write roles for people who are mixed. There aren't that many Native American actors working on many things related to Native Americans. Now, therefore, we thank God for Jason Momoa and his little series because it had something to do with Native American stuff. It didn't really get like I wanted it to get as far as it could have gotten, but it did. You know, he did a damn good job as Aquaman. But like I said, for the most part, they don't write enough roles for Native Americans. They don't write enough roles for people who are multicultural. There are not enough multicultural superheroes in the Marvel Universe or the DC Universe. There are very few characters who have a white mom and a black dad, or an Asian mom and a black dad, or a black mom and an Asian dad. There are so many characters that do not fucking have that. So when I started my channel, I wrote characters for them. My characters have always been half Asian and half black. Maybe 1 or 2 characters I did that was half black and half white. Alright? But also because I found out that Native Americans are Asian, it made it a hell of a lot easier for me because the only stories I know have something to do with Native Americans or Chinese or Japanese folklore with martial arts. Now, like I said, there's a dark side to martial arts. Most of the black people that do martial arts, if they're doing them over in Asia, we play the bad guy. So Asia, if you're listening, I need a job. I'm more than willing to play the bad guy. You're going to need to fly me to Asia, and you're going to need a doctor on set. Because I don't have a problem taking a beating, but my hip just might. Also, I'm going to have to work out some shit so that my military benefits can come to me so I can actually have something to live off of in case American money actually goes further there. So, you feel where I'm going with that. The dark side of martial arts is simple. It's about height. It's about color. It's about ethnicity. It's about how can we write a story that suits you, that other people like you can relate to. Well, you really can't. Now, if I was blessed enough to do a movie with Ernie Reyes Jr., because a lot of people think we look alike, that would be awesome. You know, we could be Double Dragon. That movie hasn't been done to death because Mark Dacascos and Scott Wolf did a very good job. Van Damme did a very good job with Bolo Yangi. But, you know, they haven't made a Mortal Kombat, they haven't made a Double Dragon with actual twins or with actual Asians because Billy and Jimmy Lee's mom is Japanese. And if you go by the Marvel comic books, Billy and Jimmy Lee's mom is Japanese. And their father is Stan the Man Lee, who does very good martial arts in the comic. I have all 6 episodes. Anyway, moving on. The last thing I want to touch on is that the dark side of martial arts is that a lot of people learn martial arts for the sole purpose of what I myself had to learn martial arts for, which was to beat people up. I can't say I'm ashamed of that. I should be, but I'm actually not because I've been fighting in the streets since I was 6. Because I was forced to fight as a child. Because for some reason, back then, that wasn't counted as child abuse. That was just counted as being black and growing up rough. Now, as I learned martial arts at 7 to 10, and then from 10 to 15, I basically was on my own. Doing everything I learned, picking up things from movies here and there. And yes, you can learn from a movie because I had never seen a tornado kick in any dojo until I seen the first Ninja Turtle movie. And I went to a Kenpo dojo where they called the tornado kick the hurricane kick. By the time I hit 17 and started learning under Master Jim Ennis, by the time I hit 16 and started learning under Master Jim Ennis when the dojo was downtown, you know, I could do a lot of things. Mr. Ennis made me do a lot of push-ups because I refused to call a kid who was like 7, who had a black belt, sir. And he was like, you need to call him sir. And I was like, no, I don't. He's 7 years old. He's like, that 7-year-old can probably beat you. I said, no, I don't think so. He's like, well, do your push-ups and tell me why you don't think he can beat you at 7 years old. I said, well, 1, I got him by about 11 years. 2, he's a little white boy, and when he goes home, it's just exercise to him. Just like it is to everybody in this dojo. It's just exercise. When I go home, I have to worry about somebody trying to stab me with a pop bottle, beat me with a stick with a nail in it, or a broomstick, or whatever the fuck they can find, because when I go home to 811 E. Hardy Drive. When y'all go home to Locust Avenue. Or y'all go home to West Main Street. Or y'all go home to the downtown mall area, where nothing but rich white people and gay people live there. No offense to gay people, but it is the truth. Most of the rich and the white and the gays live right down there in the downtown area, which bounces off of Locust Avenue and other places like Elliott and the good parts of Belmont that don't really have a lot of black people there, or it has black people there who actually might act like they're actually white people. Alright? Got all that out the way. If I have offended you with that, I'm sorry. That's the 100% the truth. So, you know, well, you're going to do push-ups every time that you don't call him sir, unless you come to a class where he's not here. So eventually his parents, I guess, put him in a different class because the only class I can come to was their class. And I wasn't going to call him sir. And I did a lot of fucking push-ups. A lot of them. He said, I will call you sir. And I will call the black guy with the red belt, I can't remember his name, but you know who you are. I will call him sir. And I will call Steve from high school sir. And I'm not going to call that 7-year-old with the black belt sir, because he's 7 years old. And if you pump somebody's head with too much bullshit, you're going to get them fucking killed. Alright? I, as a martial artist, when I tell people or when I teach somebody something, I'm going to teach something that I know that when you leave me, you ain't got to come back. If you practice it and do it right the first fucking time, you don't have to come back. You don't have to sit here and horse punch and dragon punch and hammer fist. You ain't got to do none of that. Because I'm going to teach you how to fuck somebody up. Boom is karate. Boom, boom, that's kung fu. See the difference? Karate. Boom, boom, that's kung fu. So when you block and you break and you slide down, 3 moves, fight's done. Where boom, boom. But if he blocks and then you block, y'all some blocking motherfuckers. I'm too old for an ass whooping. I'm also too short. So I got to end this shit quick. I can't be playing with these motherfucking young whippersnappers. I got to fuck them up because they're not going to think about giving me mercy. However, they say mercy is for the weak. I say mercy is for the strong. Because it takes a strong man to realize that you're about to fuck somebody's shit up. And you should probably stop. Now, here's the thing. You have people who learn martial arts for the sole purpose of what I just said. To beat the fuck out of people. Is that the right thing to do? Fuck no. But people do it all the time because there's no screening process when that dojo needs money. It needs money to operate. It needs money to keep the lights on. It needs money to have a water fountain so that you can have something to drink. It needs money to pay whatever bills that they charge you for the gloves and the equipment and the gi. And they have to pay their suppliers so that you can be dressed properly when you go into their dojo. So, again, when the dojo needs money, you pay more money. And that's how a lot of them get you. So let's say you want to be on a program for 3 years, and let's say I only charge you $150 for the whole year. Okay? Now I got 20 people in that class that I charge $150 to. I get to eat. My dojo keeps running. Because I have to make sure that I have 5 classes with 20 people in it and charge them all $120 for the whole fucking year. And if they want to excel to green belt, if they want to take an accelerated class, I bump it up to maybe $200 and I'm yours for the year, but you have to come to me. Which means as much as you're paying me, you have to pay that much on gas depending on how far you live, because I'm not going to drive to your house to teach you. You're going to come to the dojo to learn. Because that's what dojos are for. Now, another dark side of martial arts, a lot of dojos are all about the dough in dojos. And I ain't talking about the dough that you make bread and biscuits and crumpets with. I'm talking about that green shit that comes out your pocket and into mine. I don't want to be that guy. I want to teach you how to survive for free, which is why I wanted to make kung fu movies. That was my long-term dream. That dream has been put on hold. But at that same time, I'm going to be honest about it. There are dojos that will teach you everything they want you to know, and half that shit that they teach you is ineffective when you walk out that door. Alright? Straight up and down. A lot of dojos, they got you doing front kicks. Front kicks. All day. For the whole 45 minutes. You done front kicks. And now, in your last 15 minutes, we're going to work you out, cool you off, and I ain't even going to give you a quiz. Bathroom's over there. Water's over there. Class dismissed. Next day you come in. Damn if you ain't done the same thing. Maybe you done it for maybe 20 minutes. And then I give you a vigorous workout of push-ups and stretches. And maybe I give you some freestyle sparring when Friday comes. I'm paid. I got 7 classes. I run my dojo all day, every day. Each class is only an hour. So after that 7th class come in, I can go home and chill. I done got my money, I'm gone. I got to pay my electric bill. But I have a house that I got to pay for. So now I got to up my money. So now I got to make you up your money. To teach you some shit that basically you already know when you think about it. But they don't want you to know that, because if everybody knows what I know, you'd only have to go to the dojo for maybe 3 lessons. And maybe only 3 months if taught properly. It's kind of like nowadays you watch all these videos and all of a sudden everybody's a fucking MMA fighter. Everybody. Watch enough videos, you'll be a master too. It's just a matter of time. And it's like I've always told other people who laugh at me when I say this, and I'll say it to y'all because it's slightly funny. I don't call it funny, but most people call it funny. No. The whole point of being a sensei is to unlock the potential that you already have. Once that's done, you're on your journey on your own. But they don't want you to know that because they want you to pay the money. Now, the whole point of being a fighter is that you go out and you fight. So if you're in MMA, if you're in UFC, this is a lucrative career with two prices. Yes, I said it, two prices. Why did I say that? Because it's the truth. You get the cauliflower ear, which they have no cure, no easy fix for, because you keep taking hits to the face. Who the fuck wants that? You can't block them all, but who the fuck wants that? Why can't we put headgear in the UFC? I don't want cauliflower ear. But if that's what the price you want to pay to be a UFC fighter and get your ear fucked up, both of them, hey, that's your chisel. And it also comes with that. Where if you fighting on the street, look, I'm just trying to knock a motherfucker out to keep from being knocked the fuck out. But when you make this shit a sport, women don't look good with cauliflower ear. Men don't look good with cauliflower ear. Kind of want to get out before that shit happens. Sometimes you can't. Sometimes you can bust your ass and still never get top villain. Like me. Except I've never been in the UFC and I've never been in MMA. But I can guarantee you, I know everything they know. Might know more than they know. The difference is, when it comes to the dark side of martial arts, is that people will look at me and see my size. And in America, size matters because apparently we don't want to hire people that's 5'3" unless they have tits for a bodyguard. Because there are some female bodyguards that are fucking great. Great at what they do. Only fight when they have to. They didn't take the path of Chris Cyborg or Ronda Rousey. They didn't take that path. They wanted to have just a career of using martial arts when it was necessary, and not because it's a way to make money. Those chicks are badasses, but they're not in the ring. So you probably look at them and say, "Oh, this bitch can't do shit to me. She's only 5'3". And that same bitch that you said can't do shit to you will have your ass in a chokehold and breaking an arm and not even breaking a nail or a sweat because you underestimated them. Now, again, the dark side of martial arts is really quite simple. It's all about politically incorrectness of a person's size or a person's ethnicity. Well, you don't look Chinese to me, so you don't like I should hire you. Or you don't like you can fight your way out of a wet paper bag, so I'm not going to hire you. I've got turned down from many bouncer jobs for the simple fact that I'm only 5'3". I don't look intimidating. I don't look scary. Which legally and technically is discrimination. But more effectively, if you think about it, if I don't look like I can hurt you, that only makes me more dangerous to you because you've underestimated my ability. Now, granted, I know going in, you're 6'4". I ain't got no strength on that. But I have knowledge of pressure points, and it don't matter how big your ass be. You only got yay so much pain tolerance that every person can take. And then let's end this with this. To be more sufficient and efficient, knowledge of pressure points. So there's two martial arts that you can get this knowledge from. Kempo and Aikido. Because both of those focus on pressure points. Kempo and Aikido's pressure points. In Kempo, which I learned some from one of my best friend's mother-in-law's ex-boyfriends. Everywhere there's a joint, there's a pressure point. So you got one in there, you got one in there, you got some in here, and you got this whole thing of metacarpals, which is like 200 or 300 bones in your hand. And then you have your nerve endings and things like that. Well, if you stop the flow of blood to your hand, you can't make a fist. Now, you see how my arm is twitching? See that right there? Right there where my fingers are. Watch carefully. Watch it, watch it. You see it twitching? That controls the flow of blood. If you break this, no more use of this. But I'm sure your dojo senseis aren't teaching you this shit. You know why? Because they want you to keep paying them. Where I just want to teach you how to survive. 3 months of me and then the rest of your life for practicing, and you'll never have to see me again. I can't guarantee you can whoop my ass, but you damn sure gonna fuck somebody up. But a lot of teachers don't want that. They also don't want that responsibility. See, things have changed in the martial art world. And by things, I mean they have rules and regulations and shit that absolutely have nothing to fucking do with martial arts. Until it came to America. See, when it came to America, oh, now you have to break a board. I don't know what the fuck that purpose solves, but you have to break a board. I've never broken a brick or a board a day in my life. Damn near broke my hand twice, but, you know, that doesn't prove that you are a fighter. That just proves that you're fucking hella strong because you broke a fucking brick or a board. But they also can't defend themselves. So you're teaching people might makes right, in a sense. Which again is a dark side of martial arts. And way back in the olden days, that might have scared or impressed people. I'm here to teach you how to survive. That's the light side of martial arts. It has dark premises behind it. But, as I was told, the yin-yang symbol is balance. All you hippies call it harmony, but it's balance. For everyone that is nice, the light part, that little black eye, is your darkness within. For every one of us that is dark, that little light spot, the eye, is the light within. Because you can be totally evil to an extent and have that 1 gram of goodness that may save the day. You may be totally good to an extent and have that 1 bit of evil, again, that may save the day. Think that shit over when you stare deeply into the eyes of a yin-yang. But if you're going to look at a yin-yang, then you look at the Jeet Kune Do yin-yang. Because that yin-yang has the yin-yang. And it has 2 arrows pointing in different directions. I believe in the opposite directions, but I won't swear to it. But when you think about that, think long and hard. Because within each of us there is good and there's evil. You have to decide which one you want more of to progress. I walk the thin gray line in between the middle of them. Because the simple fact is, I'm not afraid to embrace my evil. I'm more afraid to embrace my good. Because being good most of my life hasn't really gotten me too far. I'm James Williams Jr. This is Kung Fu Havoc number 2. Be seeing you.